Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Sam Spril, who writes, "It's been reported that Universal and the Lego Toy Company have a 5-year agreement planning to develop, produce, and distribute theatrical releases based on the Lego property. Do you think Universal will build a universe, or will each movie be its own thing? Thanks." All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And you know what? This is one of those pieces of news that caught me by surprise initially, but the more I thought about it, I realized, I probably shouldn't be all that surprised by this. So here's the basic thing, of course. Lego's been making a bunch of movies, and they've been making them with Warner Brothers. And for the most part, other than Lego Movie 2, they've done a really good job making those movies. But here's the problem. When you look at the movies, and that first one that came out, the first Lego movie, which was the dumbest idea in the world, and yet it just worked. They found it's all about execution. They made it charming and fun and funny, and I loved it. And it did really well financially. But ever since then, it's been in decline. For example, let's take a look at this. So we had the first Lego movie come out, made $468 million. Big success or something like that, which, again, a movie about little plastic building blocks. This is the dumbest idea in the world. And it's so delightful. I love this movie. So then what they do, they make the Lego Batman movie. One of the most popular characters from the first film, and just one of the most popular characters in pop culture, period, Batman himself. They got, what's the guy who does the voice of it? It's not Will Fernet, is it? No, it's Will
Arnett?
It's Arnett. I said Fernet. Yeah, Will Arnett does the voice of Batman. And I will tell you what, I'm not sure if the first Lego movie is better or if Lego Batman is better. It's great. The Lego Batman movie is great. And you think, coming off the big success of the first Lego movie, that everybody enjoyed, made all this money, and now they're making one focused on Batman, man, it's going to do even better. But it took a significant drop. You went from the first Lego movie making $468 million all the way down to $311 for a fantastic movie. A fantastic movie. Then they came out and they rolled the dice on doing Lego Ninjago. Now, obviously, I think a lot of people understand that Lego Ninjago won't do as well as a Lego Batman per se. That's fine. But you know what? Lego Ninjago was pretty good. Wasn't as good as Lego Batman, but it was actually surprising, pretty good. But even being Lego, and even though it was pretty damn good, you went from the Batman movie making $311 million down to $123 million for Lego Ninjago. So then you think, okay, well, let's do the proper sequel to the Lego movie. We'll get Elizabeth Banks back. We'll get Chris Pratt back in their voices. We'll bring the whole crew back together. That will turn things back around. And whereas the first Lego movie made $468 million, the second Lego movie plummeted massively, dropping by far more than half, making $192 million. Now, granted, that film was also actually not all that good. I didn't like the Lego Movie 2, even though I liked all the other ones. So, while at first, somebody like me is thinking, oh, wow, Warner Brothers doesn't have the Lego movies anymore? They lost the bidding war because the contract elapsed, but they're still up to getting it back. I guess they didn't fight very hard for it. Well, when you look at the numbers, you kind of realize why. They made good movies, other than the final one, and they just weren't getting the financial rewards for it. And I think we can discuss and debate why maybe that happened and why that is. But the bottom line is they just weren't making the money. So in steps Universal, another studio that's kind of desperate to get recognizable IP and maybe inject some life into something. And they reached this 5-year deal with Lego. Now, as far as whether or not they're going to make connected shared cinematic universe movies or standalone movies, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it matters. All that matters is you make good movies. I mean, that's the only thing. You got to make good movies, and that's clear. Because within the Warner Brothers Lego movies, you had shared franchise and you had standalones, and nothing seemed to work for them. Nothing seemed to work for them. So I'm not really so concerned about that. But listen, after seeing the first movie, I'm sold that something like this, Rob, can work. I think Lego Movie can work. I am at a loss as to why the other ones didn't work after the first film, but I still think this is a property that can work if done right. A lot of people love Lego. A lot of people play the Lego video games. It's a recognizable name. We remember the first one. I think this can work, so I think this is intriguing. Rob, you see this deal, Lego going to Universal. What do you think?
Well, first of all, as a kid, John, Lego was one of my favorite toys. And when I would play with my 8-inch Mego action figures, I used Legos to build like jail cells to hold supervillains. Or I would use Legos to build spaceships themselves. Lego was so versatile. You could build in many different scales. You could think up whatever your imagination could think up. And I think that we've seen the Lego movies that they've made that are successful utilize other existing properties to accentuate Lego itself. Ninjaku is something that was unique. It was an IP that was unique to Lego as opposed to using, say, Batman or some other IP. But I think if handled correctly, we have seen that Lego movies can indeed work. And I'm curious to see what they would do with it, because just like when I was a kid, I could either make a building to house my superhero figures with Lego, or build a Lego vehicle that I would pretend is flying around in space or whatever. So I think the idea that Lego could be just as versatile when it comes to storytelling, again, what you need are talented creators and writers who have a real interesting and unique way to exploit the brand. And it really comes down to, like any other movie or any other IP, you've got to have great creators with great ideas and great execution. So I think this is probably a strategic and really interesting. I mean, does that mean there's going to be no more Lego Batman movies? I
don't know.
I'm
now that it's not a Warner Brothers, I don't know.
I mean, I can't imagine another Lego movie being made at another studio unless they're locked into that, because otherwise, why team up with Lego? I mean, maybe we've seen the end of the diminishing returns of other Lego movies, has made it so they want to go and find somewhere else. But, who knows? But I'm kind of optimistic. I'm hoping that there'll be some cool Lego movies. I love Lego.
Yeah, me too. Now, of course, we could see just the trend continue. Like it's been doing this ever since the first movie, and maybe that continues. But I'm going to be with you on this, Rob. I'm going to choose to remain optimistic about it. Question here for you guys is this. Are you optimistic about the potential future of Lego? Off to a great start at Warner Brothers, but they couldn't sustain it. Can it get new life being at a new studio? What do you guys think? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.